Hi folks, welcome to IJ Impact. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most insidious data breaches of all time, involving the US military, the German government and a Swiss company called WWII. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel to get notification as soon as a new video is released. It's hard to exaggerate just how much the WWII scandal has shaken Switzerland. For decades since World War II, US and German intelligence used this Swiss company's encoding devices to spy on other countries, and this has provoked outrage across the world. From the Cold War into the 2000s, WWII sold its communication devices to more than 120 governments. Its devices were encrypted, but it has emerged that the CIA and Germany's BND has rigged the devices so that they could crack the codes and intercept thousands or hundreds of thousands of messages. So what happened? How did they get away with it? And what secrets were hacked? This is a plotline straight out of a John le Carré novel or a James Bond film. Let's take a look back at the company's history and uncover the deception. WWII was established in Switzerland by the Russian-born Swede Boris Hagelin. Originally called AB Cryptotechnique and founded in Stockholm in 1920, the firm manufactured the C36 mechanical cryptograph machine. After the death of its founder, and just before the Second World War, Cryptotechnique came under the control of Hagelin. Hagelin's hope was to sell the device to the United States Army. When Germany invaded Norway in 1940, he moved from Sweden to the US and presented the device to the military, which in turn brought the device to the Signal Intelligence Service and the code breakers in Arlington Hall. In the end, he was awarded a licensing agreement and 140,000 units were made during the war for American troops. During his time in the United States, Hagelin became close friends with William F. Friedman, who in 1952 became Chief Cryptologist for the National Security Agency, NSA, and whom Hagelin had known since the 1930s. The same year, Hagelin's lawyer Stuart Hedden became Deputy Commander in the CIA. In 1948, Hagelin moved to Steinhausen in Switzerland to avoid taxes. In 1952, the company, which until then had been incorporated in Stockholm, also moved to Switzerland. The official reason was that it was transferred as a result of a planned Swedish government nationalisation of military important technology contractors. A holding company was set up in Liechtenstein. During the 1950s, Hagelin and Friedman had frequent mail correspondence, both personal and business alike. WWII sent over new machines to the NSA, and they had an ongoing discussion concerning which countries they would or would not sell the encryption systems to, and which countries to sell older, weaker systems. In 1958, when Friedman retired, Howard C. Barlow, a high-ranking NSA employee, and Lawrence E. Shin, NSA's Signal Intelligence Directory in Asia, took over the correspondence. In June 1970, the company was bought in secret by the CIA and the West German Intelligence Service BND for $5.75 million. Hagelin had first been approached to sell to a partnership between the French and West German intelligence services in 1967, but Hagelin contacted the CIA and the Americans did not cooperate with the French. At this point, the company had 400 employees, and the revenue had increased from 100,000 Swiss francs in the 1950s to 14 million Swiss francs in the 1970s. In 2018, WWII was liquidated and its assets and intellectual property sold to two new companies. Sci1 was created for Swiss domestic sales, while Crypto International AG was founded in 2018 by Swedish entrepreneur Andres Linder, who acquired the brand name International Distribution Network and product rights from the original WWII. In 2020, it was established following a parliamentary investigation that the Swiss government and its intelligence services were aware of the spying activities of the Swiss-based crypto for many years and had benefited from the US-led spying. The early machines were mainly mechanical, for example the CX52 seen here. Later products included radio, Ethernet, STM, GSM, phone and fax encryption systems. According to declassified US government documents released in 2015, in 1955, CryptoAG's founder Boris Hagelin and William Friedman entered into an unwritten agreement concerning the C52 encryption machines that compromised the security for some of the purchasers. Hagelin kept both the NSA and its United Kingdom counterparty, GCHQ, informed about the technical specifications of different machines and which countries were buying which machines. Providing such information would have allowed the intelligence agencies to reduce the time needed to crack the encryption of messages produced by the machines from impossibly long to a feasible length. The secret relationship initiated by the agreement also involved CryptoAG not selling machines such as the CX52, a more advanced version of the C52, to certain countries. The NSA actually wrote the operations manuals for some of the CX52 machines on behalf of the company, to ensure the full strength of the machines would not be used, thus again reducing the necessary cracking effort. CryptoAG had earlier been accused of rigging its machines in collusion with intelligence agencies such as NSA, GCHQ and the German Federal Intelligence Service BND, enabling the agencies to read the encrypted traffic produced by the machines. Suspicions of this collusion were aroused in 1986 following US President Ronald Reagan's announcement on national television that, through the interception of diplomatic communications between Tripoli and the Libyan embassy in East Berlin, he had irrefutable evidence that Muammar Gaddafi of Libya was behind the West Berlin discotheque bombing in 1986. President Reagan then ordered the bombing of Tripoli and Benghazi in retaliation.
My fellow Americans, at 7 o'clock this evening, Eastern Time, air and naval forces of the United States launched a series of strikes against the headquarters, terrorist facilities, and military assets that support Muammar Gaddafi's subversive activities. The attacks were concentrated and carefully targeted to minimize casualties among the Libyan people, with whom we have no quarrel. From initial reports, our forces have succeeded in their mission.
It was later revealed that Argentinian communications regarding the Falklands War in 1982 were passed by the US military to the British government, and this led directly to the sinking of the nuclear battleship Belgrano. Further evidence suggesting the CryptoAG machines were compromised was revealed after the assassination of former Iranian Prime Minister Shapur Bakhtiar in 1991. On the 7th of August 1991, one day before Bakhtiar's body was discovered, the Iranian intelligence service transmitted a coded message to Iranian embassies inquiring, "Is Bakhtiar dead?" Western governments deciphered this transmission, causing the Iranians to suspect their CryptoAG equipment. The Iranian government then arrested CryptoAG's top salesman Hans Boehler in March 1992 in Tehran. It accused Boehler of leaking their encryption codes to the Western intelligence. Boehler was interrogated for 9 months, but being completely unaware of any flaw in the machines, was released in January 1993, after CryptoAG posted bail of $1 million to Iran. Soon after Boehler's release, CryptoAG dismissed him and sought to recover the $1 million bail money from him personally. Swiss media and the German magazine Der Spiegel took up his case in 1994, interviewing former employees and concluding that crypto machines had in fact repeatedly been rigged. CryptoAG rejected these accusations as pure invention, asserting in a press release that in March 1994 the Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office initiated a wide-ranging preliminary investigation against CryptoAG, which was completed in 1997. The accusations regarding influence by third parties or manipulations which had been repeatedly raised in the media proved to be without foundation. Subsequent commentators were unmoved by this denial, stating that it was likely that CryptoAG products were indeed rigged. Letomp has argued that CryptoAG had been actively working with the British, US and West German secret services since 1956, going as far as to rig instruction manuals for the machines on the orders of the NSA. These claims were vindicated by US government documents declassified in 2015. In 2020, an investigation carried out by the Washington Post, Zweitdeutsches Fernsehen (ZDF) and Schweizer Radio and Fernsehen (SRF) revealed that WWII was in fact entirely controlled by the CIA and the BND. The project was initially known by the codename Thesaurus and later as Rubicon. The codename for WWII was Minerva. The Swiss government's decision to import export controls on Crypto International in the wake of the WWII disclosures caused diplomatic tensions with Sweden, reportedly leading the latter cancelling plans to celebrate 100 years of diplomatic relations with Switzerland. The export controls preventing Swedish authorities from obtaining equipment from Crypto International was reportedly a reason behind Sweden's decision. An untold number of key Cold War events were affected by the communication that was collected through WWII machines, including the Suez Canal crisis in 1956, the Camp David peace accords in 1978, the Iranian hostage crisis in 1979, and the Berlin discotheque bombing in 1986. There must have been a clear impact on world events during that time due to the compromise of these machines. The intelligence agencies were pretty much indiscriminate in where they would hack messages, and compromised organisations included the Vatican and the United Nations. There must be a significant trust issue, an impact that will take a long time to recover. An open question is whether the company was actually ethically questionable towards its employees. For example, what duty of care did the BND and CIA owe the many unsuspecting employees and salesmen travelling from country to country, unwittingly putting themselves at risk? Switzerland has itself been shaken to the core, with its pride in neutrality over the past century being questioned. Conclusion. We suspect that more revelations will come out in coming years about the impact that the compromised machines have had on world events. But at its simplest, the act of knowingly selling machines that are not fit for purpose, in that information passed is not secure, is clearly fraud.